This was the first election in the Hyderabad state at that time. And that hostel experience and Mahatma Gandhi visiting that hostel and blessing him had probably instilled, quite probably must have instilled, that sense of rightness and moral working in Raghav-Reddy, which has stood him in very good stead till very late.
I just came out of the hospital having been infected with some virus, but the better infection was now the Raghav-Reddy infection. And I couldn't resist that infection, so I came here essentially to wish him a very long life and more service to the nation, which he has done quite exceedingly well. During the period he was with us in the Electricity Board, he did a lot more than what I have written in the book, and I wish I could narrate all that, but it's superfluous on this occasion. And essentially, to wish this young man, I always had the love of calling him a bacha, being very much senior to him. I want this bacha to complete not only the 100 years, and if not more, to serve the nation, which he has done so well hitherto, and I am sure he will continue to do that. And I wish him and his family all the best. The present ailment of his is nothing compared to what he can possibly tackle in his life. And I am sure he will tackle this too with courage and get over these problems. And may God bless him and let him live long enough to serve the country, but many more years to come. Thank you very much.
Police in 1957 and 59, I found him dynamic and active. S. Chandrasekharan, IPS retired, former Director General of Police, Andhra-Pradesh. Raghav-Reddy is an excellent and cheerful police officer of zeal, dedication to duty and integrity. As an officer, he yielded strong views on men and matters. He was achieved credible success and admiration from all quarters. Padma Shri Dr. M.V. Rao, Raghav-Reddy గారి వ్యక్తిత్వానికి బహుముఖాలు. ఆయన పదవి విరమణ చేసిన తర్వాత వ్యవసాయంలో స్థిరపడ్డారు. ఔషధ మొక్కల పెంపకం సాగులో శాస్త్రి గారు, రెడ్డి గారు చేసినటువంటి పరిశ్రమని అభినందిస్తూ ఎంవి రావు గారు.
Dice, dignitaries who have come here, ladies and gentlemen, because we are running short of time, I don't want to take more time, but you may be wondering how in the galaxy of these police officers and distinguished personalities, how an agricultural scientist fits in here. It puzzled me when Raghav-Reddy garu wanted me to come and participate. I said, how do I fit here? He said, no, you are one of those people who inspired me to write this book, so you must come and participate in this function. It is really very generous of Raghav-Reddy garu for inviting me. But there appears to be some link between the police department and the agriculture people in the sense that you are involved with handling law and order, trying to show that there is justice everywhere, as Prabhakara garu has said. And without justice, there is no peace. But we are also involved with this peacemaking because I quote Norman Borlaug, who is a Nobel laureate and who is known as the father of the Green Revolution. When he got the Nobel Prize, in his acceptance lecture, he said, if you desire peace, cultivate justice. But at the same time, cultivate the fields also to produce more food. Otherwise, there will be no peace. So without peace, without food, there is no peace. And I think in that way, Raghava-Reddy Garu has blended the law and order enforcement agency, the police, and the food producers, the agriculture people. Expressed by different people who work with him. He is one of the finest people I have come across. I came in contact with him about 11 years back, and I was amazed to see the knowledge he has got on agriculture. Because, as Prabhakar Garu said, the seeds he got from his ancestors, the agriculture has not left him, which blossomed after he has retired from the police service. Sometimes I used to come across peculiar situations. When I was visiting Mahabaleshwar, where we got a major center in Maharashtra, my colleagues were showing me a plant which flowers after 20 years. For 20 years it remains dormant. Only after 20 years it comes out. I don't know how God has made. But Raghava-Reddy Garu, after retired from the active service from the police department, he blossomed a good agricultural scientist, and he may not be having degrees like what we have, but he has tremendous amount of common sense and knowledge. When I visited his fields, I was surprised to see his fields. He brought plants from all over India, particularly the medicinal and aromatic plants, and which I thought cannot be grown in Andhra Pradesh, which I used to see in Pantnagar area, in the Terai belt of Himalayas, etc. But he could bring them, and his fields are a museum for people to go and study how a farmer can incorporate all the systems to make more income from the farm. People from National Institute of Rural Development, from Agriculture University, from other universities, from all over the places, they used to come and visit his farm and get enlightened. But one thing I would like to request Dr. Raghava-Reddy Garu, he was a great police officer. I need not have to tell all I have said about him. But you are not old, that is what I want to remind him. You say you are 83 years old, but I am working with a person who is 92 years old. And he is going around the whole world. He doesn't take in rest. But he always writes to me, Dr. Rao, don't take rest. And don't give any rest to your brain. The moment you give rest to your brain, it will eat you. Remember always, good constructive work is the best medicine God has ever given to man. Good constructive work is the best medicine God has ever given to man. As long as you are doing good constructive work, that is the best medicine that you have. So, Raghava-Reddy Garu, you may complain that you are 83 years old. You may say that you have lost your life partner, that it is inevitable in life. I used to have a predecessor, Dr. Gautam Reddy Garu, who was a very distinguished Vice Chancellor of the Agriculture University. He used to come regularly to me, old man, a big landlord, but tremendous amount of common sense. He used to tell me, Dr. Rao Garu, how did you come into this world? You came alone. Your parents nurtured you. You grew up. That long you got married. Then you got children. Children, you trained them. They grew up and they got wings and they left you. You are left with only two. And then as you came alone in the world, God doesn't call you both of you at one time. He calls only one time. So as you came alone, only you will stay alone. So that is not it's a rule of the law. So don't say that you had bypass twice. Don't say you got only one eye or one hand. But no, these are all they are not impediments, but you got the determination. You got a commitment. And that is the greatest asset that you have got. And I recollect when I was seeing the picture Sikandar in my childhood, Alexander, after defeating Persia, he distributed all the wealth he looted from Persia to all his soldiers. He is left with nothing.